Earnie Shavers, one of the most fearsome punchers in the history of boxing, has a unique perspective when it comes to the question of who is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Though Muhammad Ali is often hailed as the greatest heavyweight to ever lace up the gloves, Shavers, who faced Ali in 1977, has a different take. Despite being knocked out by Ali in their 15-round contest, Shavers was not only impressed by Ali's resilience and skill but also by the way Ali managed to withstand the incredible knockout power he possessed. However, Shavers believed that there was another heavyweight who was superior to Ali in terms of overall boxing ability: Larry Holmes. Holmes, whom Shavers faced twice during his career, stood out to Shavers as the best fighter he ever fought, and he didn't hesitate to say that, in his view, Holmes was better than Ali. This perspective offers an interesting look into the nuances of boxing and the factors that contribute to a fighter's greatness, beyond just knockout power or fame. Shavers, who is widely regarded as one of the hardest punchers in boxing history, certainly knows what it feels like to land a powerful blow. With an astonishing 70 knockouts and 91 career wins, Shavers had the kind of power that could end a fight with a single punch. His bout with Ali in 1977 showcased just how dangerous his fists could be. Despite not winning, Shavers had Ali hurt early and late in the fight, and many boxing historians believe that if the fight had gone differently, Shavers could have been the one to dethrone Ali. Nonetheless, Ali's chin and ability to weather the storm proved to be the difference, as the greatest was able to continue pushing through and ultimately win by unanimous decision. For Shavers, this fight was one of the most notable of his career because it highlighted the greatness of Ali as a boxer. Ali's ability to absorb punishment and still keep moving forward was something that Shavers always admired. He acknowledged that Ali's mental toughness and heart were unrivaled, and that, while he could hurt Ali, the champ's will to win was an undeniable factor that set him apart. However, despite the tremendous respect Shavers had for Ali's abilities, when he looked back at the best fighters he had faced, it was Larry Holmes who stood out to him as the better all-around boxer. In interviews, including one with Boxing News, Shavers made it clear that in his eyes, Holmes was better than Ali. He went so far as to say, "I think Larry Holmes was the best fighter I ever fought. He was better than Ali." This might sound controversial to some, especially to the legions of boxing fans and analysts who consider Ali to be the greatest boxer to ever live. However, Shavers had his reasons for this opinion, and they largely centered around Holmes' technical prowess. Shavers noted that both Ali and Holmes had excellent jabs, but he believed Holmes' jab was more powerful and effective in a way that made him a more complete fighter. While Ali's jab was often used as a range-finding tool and a way to flick at his opponents, Shavers thought that Holmes' jab was a puncher's jab. It wasn't just a tool to keep opponents at bay, it was a weapon in its own right, a shot that could hurt and disrupt an opponent's rhythm, breaking them down as the fight went on. For Shavers, the difference between Ali's jab and Holmes' jab was enough to give the latter the edge in terms of overall boxing skill. Holmes, who many consider one of the most technically proficient heavyweights in history, was known for his fundamental boxing skills, and his jab was perhaps the best in the business during his time. Holmes had an uncanny ability to control the pace of a fight, and his jab played a key role in that. Not only was it accurate, but it was delivered with incredible speed and force, often leaving his opponents reeling and unable to mount an effective offense. Holmes' boxing IQ, his ability to read opponents and make adjustments on the fly, was another factor that set him apart from other fighters, including Ali. While Ali relied heavily on his speed, footwork, and unorthodox style, Holmes' approach was more methodical and calculated. He could break down an opponent over the course of a fight with his sharp jab, and he had the stamina and mental fortitude to maintain that pace for 12 or 15 rounds, something Ali also had but in a different way. Shavers saw this in Holmes, and he believed that Holmes' overall technical skills made him the better fighter in a head-to-head comparison. Shavers' bouts with Holmes were some of the most significant fights in his career, and they left an indelible impression on him. Their first fight took place in 1978, when Holmes was the WBC heavyweight champion. Holmes won the bout by a unanimous decision after 12 rounds, but the fight was much closer than the scorecard suggested. Shavers had Holmes in trouble during the fight, and he was able to land some powerful punches that had Holmes hurt, but Holmes' skill and experience allowed him to weather the storm and win the decision. Their rematch in 1979 was even more brutal, with Holmes stopping Shavers in the 11th round. Despite losing to Holmes twice, Shavers held a deep respect for the champion and considered him one of the best boxers he had ever faced. Their rivalry, marked by hard punches and technical mastery, was one of the defining aspects of Shavers' career, and it shaped his perspective on boxing. While Shavers' career is often viewed through the lens of unfulfilled potential, due to his inability to capture the heavyweight title, he is still regarded as one of the most fearsome knockout artists in the sport. Shavers was often on the verge of greatness, and his ability to hit with such devastating power made him a constant threat to anyone in the ring with him. Yet, despite his incredible punching power, Shavers was never able to win the world title, coming up short in his 2 title fights against Ali and Holmes. This was a source of frustration for Shavers, who believed that with the right circumstances, he could have been champion. However, he was also at peace with his place in boxing history, knowing that he was one of the most respected and feared heavyweights of his era. The admiration Shavers had for Larry Holmes extended beyond their fights. In fact, after their bouts, Shavers and Holmes developed a close friendship, with Shavers considering Holmes his best friend in boxing. The two stayed in touch for years after their rivalry, a rare bond that formed between two men who had fought each other with such intensity in the ring. This friendship speaks to the mutual respect that exists between fighters who have shared the ring together. Despite the brutal nature of their contests, Shavers and Holmes were able to develop a camaraderie that lasted long after the final bell. Shavers often spoke about how much he appreciated Holmes not just as a fighter but as a person, and this relationship added a personal layer to Shavers' legacy in boxing. Shavers passed away in September 2022 at the age of 78, but his legacy as one of boxing's most feared punchers endures. He may not have won a world title, but his impact on the sport, especially in terms of his power and the respect he earned from fellow fighters, cannot be understated. His views on Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali provide an insightful perspective on what makes a great fighter. While Ali's heart, resilience, and skill have rightfully earned him a place at the top of many all-time lists, Shavers saw Holmes as the more complete boxer, one who could dominate a fight with his technical prowess and controlled power. This opinion offers a fresh angle on the age-old debate about who is truly the best heavyweight boxer, and it serves as a reminder that greatness in boxing can be measured in many different ways.